Yeah, that
Okay.
worked.
Awesome.
We're learning
So
on the
we're back.
job. We're back.
Perfect.
Welcome to episode 2.
We encourage that.
I'm Sabrina. This is the Sham Show, exclusively on WHSdigital.com, the WHS Lantern. I'm back at it again with the BRG.
Hello.
And we were just like, we still got things to talk about.
We do. We have a lot to talk about.
We have so much.
There's a lot.
Because we're in a lot together.
Yes.
We're both in Lantern.
Yes.
We're both in speech and debate.
Correct.
We're both at Westfield High School.
Correct.
And we're both in the Cuban sandwich.
We're both in the, yeah.
We're not going to give that any context.
Nope.
We're just going to throw it in there. No one's going to get to know
Research it historically. You'll find out what it
Research
means.
the history of the Cuban sandwich. I'm going to do my next Lantern piece on the history of the Cuban sandwich.
That would be such a fun dedication piece
It
for
really
like
would.
leaving.
Leaving?
You know what I mean?
I got 2 years
Like
to
when
do
I
that.
leave. No, when I leave.
Oh, when you leave?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and make me
Graduation?
really sad. Graduation. And especially, I think a lot of people can relate to this, having an older or senior friend. Now, I'm saying goodbye to several people this year. You, another friend of mine who graduated, who's also named Ben, he graduated second try.
There can only be one.
You're Ben Hameen.
Okay.
There we go. And then my brother, feelings. So yeah, you're leaving this year.
Yes, I am.
I'm not.
You're not? That's
I'm
good.
around to
That's a
stay.
good thing. I would hope you
I'm
wouldn't.
not graduating that early, no. So I'm a sophomore, you're a senior. How do you feel about leaving?
It's a weird feeling. It doesn't feel like it's going to happen. I think the first two the 2 halves of senior year, when you want to stay and you're reminiscing, and then when you want to leave and get out as soon as possible. I didn't take an easy senior year, so that might be contributing to some of my, I still have to complete this and get to this goal. Other people might have given up. But at the same time, I'll just discuss it. So how do I feel about leaving? It honestly is mixed. In some senses, there's a lot of opportunities offered at a high school. I'm incredibly blessed to have come here. But the opportunities offered at any high school will never compare to the ones you can have in college. I do feel that at the maturity part of it, I am ready for college. Not that they're that mature, but I do think that there's certain aspects of high school with the drama and caring about what other people think.
Exactly.
You just get done with that your senior year.
I'm getting done with that my sophomore year. I'm
good.
ready to
You just get done with that, and some people are burning out, some people aren't. So it's this weird position where you have responsibilities, other people have responsibilities. Some people no longer want to do those responsibilities, so that makes you have to choose, okay, am I going to do more, or am I also going to burn out? So I've decided not to burn out, and what that's been doing is
It's killing you. It's
Yes.
burning you out.
Yeah.
I think
But I am enjoying my last year. That's just what I'm telling myself, Yes, I'm super busy right now with speech and debate. Yes, mock trial, all these things are happening at the same time, but I will never, ever in my life have the chance to do this again.
That's a really good mindset.
I'm never going to be able to say, hey, it's my busy season in speech and debate. I have this experience of competing. I will never be able to come to these AP classes, have these friend groups that are high achieving, extremely supportive. I will never be able to have teachers the way that I do, the same teachers that I do here, So I just have to remind myself that even though sometimes, this is overwhelming or this is a lot, or I just want to take a deep breath, it's my last year, and so I think it's important to make the best of that. I do think that comes in 2 ways. Some people might take that to mean I don't want to do anything my senior year because it's my last year. I think because it's your last year, you should do stuff. Just don't do so much that you miss out on other opportunities, because I think that 10 years from now, you're not going to regret, the one speech and debate meet where you didn't place first, or the one test you could have scored. You're not going to remember that. You're going to remember the one friend that you should have spent more time with, or the one group you wish you had seen more, or the family. So I think it's balancing out. Okay, I still have stuff to do my senior year, and here are the goals I want to achieve academically or athletically. I want to achieve these goals. Go for that. This is your year to go for that. You're never going to have that chance again. But at the same time, conserve and even grow those relationships with your friends that you've had forever. Cut the toxic ones. At the end of the don't deal with it your last year. If it's traumatic, just don't deal with it. But there's no excuse to be mean at the same time. And of course your family, do spend time with them, because you won't most likely will never have the same time that you do with them again.
I think we're both very busy people. Like, we like to stay busy. We don't like having, like, a dull moment, or we don't like having, like, just waiting periods. And so I think for us, we throw ourselves into whatever work, whatever things that we do. We're like, all right, time to do speech and debate. And we dedicate ourselves from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. every Saturday.
It's great.
Now that I say that out loud, we're insane. We were out for 15 hours and we didn't,
Most of it's just waiting.
It is.
Most of life is really just waiting.
And even then, we're just, that waiting period for us is just very much existing. I say, oh, it just existed. Because it did. We're going to smile and
Were we going somewhere with that?
I don't know, no.
About the graduation, leaving? Did you have anything to... How do you feel as a sophomore?
As a sophomore,
seeing people leave,
that itch hurts. You were
hurts?
You were so refined about it, about like defining your senior year and like doing great things. I'm just like, nah, it hurts. But
it hurts.
But I know that with how much connection like I have with, like, I'm able to contact everyone.
Right.
No one is disappearing off the face of the earth. Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
I know I can still send you plenty of memes and like just, I feel like with our generation of just how much connectivity we have and just how we text every day.
Yeah.
We see each other every weekend, and if not more than once a week. While I worry that I'm never gonna see you again, and I'll never, like, I know that even then, like, we have that memories. You fill up my phone storage in the best way possible.
Good.
I love it.
I love that. Now you fill up my phone storage. Thank you.
And we haven't even known each other a year.
No.
That's, like, we did the math recently. February 15th, that's our friendiversary. And just even in that time, like, we can just say one word and we'll get the other one laughing. Like, we just know.
Right. So those memories won't be replaced. I mean, I can tell you that I had the most senior friends in last year's class. So the class of 2019, I had a lot of senior friends. 2 of them in particular that were more close. And seeing them leave, you're not going to... It depends on the person, too. Some of them will choose to remain busy. You won't talk to them as frequently. You won't type, but that doesn't mean it's gone. When they visit, it's the highlight of your weekend, and you get to hang out with them, and you plan all these things. When you're in college and if you don't know anyone else there, you're probably starting anew, and it's hard to text. It's weird because, well, this is leading me to my next point, but it's weird when you're a senior because you realize that you will leave your underclassmen friends. That doesn't quite click for your senior friends. Probably because for most people, they're going to end up going to similar schools. You'll at least know someone there if you go in-state. But in my friend group in particular, I know a lot of them have their eyes set on out-of-state schools or higher schools or whatever. I don't think that many of them would end up going to... I don't know that many that want to go to Purdue, for example. I know a lot actually want to go to IU. But the point is, I don't see it. We haven't quite realized yet that we're going to be leaving each other too in one way or another. We're never going to be together all at the same time, except for maybe during winter break.
That is like really heartbreaking.
But it hits harder with your underclassmen friends, at least in my experience. Only because, again, I haven't quite realized that my senior friends and I are leaving. It hasn't quite clicked yet. Because we're going through the same process of applying to college and everything. And we might end up being in the same college, some of us. But with underclassmen, it is a very blanket realization of I will not be here next year. And you will.
With Kyle, he was the only one in his friend group who's looking out of state and who got accepted out of state and who's actively going out of state. And so for him, he was like, there was a moment back in like August, September here where he was like, I don't want to be the only one out of state. I don't want to be the only one at Westfield. Going to that school. But I think with us being such a big school, while it's super like overwhelming when you're in class or you're in hallways, it's also, I mean, we met a kid down at that school who was from Westfield who like met up with us and he was like, let me tell you, as a Shamrock going to this school, it's like a great like just having that like close like down to earth conversation. And you met with, when you were going on your IU visit, you met with people from Westfield.
Oh yeah, I met, a ton of people. A lot of people from Westfield go to IU. It's one of, I think it's the second most common place after Purdue. I want to say, I could be wrong. Obviously there's going to be a lot of people there.
We know statistics.
But I have a lot of, I know a lot of people there. And those were the ones that were older than I am, but I met with at least 3 or 4 people, and I'm friends with definitely more than 3 or 4 people there.
So while Westfield is like overwhelming to be in here and to be like, oh my god, we have like, what is it, 2,800 students? Like,
2,500, I think.
It's like some outrageous number.
Yeah.
And that makes the hallways busy and that makes the hallways full, but it also makes college is very full of like rocks and fellow rocks, and
Right.
just having that. And Westfield is like you throw a dart and there's got to be someone there.
Yeah.
Which is how like widespread we are now.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us at the Sham Show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you for listening, watching, experiencing,
Yes.
feeling,
Yeah, it's fair.
existing.
Sure.
Existing.
Existing. Thank you for existing.
Thank you so much for existing.